Let me say a hearty and special good morning to one and all. Those of you listening to Classic Radio 105.5, 105.9, good morning to you. Those of you also viewing GVN TV, Channel 7, Channel 11, Channels 20, good morning. Those of you also via social media platforms, good morning. Whether it's a Facebook page, YouTube channels, good morning, good morning, good morning, and welcome. It's another edition of To The Point, today being Wednesday, the 21st day of February 2024. I'm your host, the GT. And I'll be with you for the next hour. We got some special guests with us this morning. Matter of fact, we have double dose of guests coming in, of course, between the various segments of the show this morning. So certainly hope you will enjoy that. Let's say good morning to my first guest with me this morning, and he is Mr. Larry Barry. He's the General Secretary of the NDC. Let me go over and say good morning to Mr. Barry. Mr. Barry, good morning and welcome to the point this morning. How are you doing this morning, sir?
Well, thank you, GT, for your welcome. Special thanks to your viewers, listeners across your various platforms that you already announced. I am great, and it's a pleasure to be on To The Point this morning to give thanks. You know, we always express gratitude and thanks for the service, and especially public service to community and country. So I am representing the National Democratic Congress this morning. And I, having been the National Democratic Congress representative on the National Organizing Committee of the 50th anniversary of independence, we take this opportunity to say thanks. I'm great, and I hope you're great as well.
Yes, certainly I am great. Now, we have just wrapped up, should I say, I like to define it as the first portion of the celebration. You know, I'm assuming it goes in portions, if I could define it in that way. You know, we had the independence celebration on Independence Day. How do you feel about the entire celebration thus far? How it went through from your point of view, sir?
Remarkable. From the distinguished leadership of the Prime Minister when he convened his first team in May 2023. That's when he convened a small team of us to begin a review of the overall 50th anniversary outlook, taking very historical context, taking the current scenario and across all landscapes, social, political, religious, cultural. That's the framework he set when he convened a small team of us as the first group that began to review what the 50th anniversary can look like. And then we began to engage in dialogue around the engagement of the public, inputs from the public with respect to a logo, a theme, and so on. That's where the genesis, that's the embryonic stages of what we've seen over the last couple of days, culminating in the last 9 or 10 days in February. So it began back in April, May 2023. And so far, one word, remarkable. One word, remarkable. That's my response to the effort to date.
All right. A question that's been thrown out a whole lot. I would just like to get your opinion. Do you believe that enough emphasis was placed on Sir Eric during the independence celebration? If I could ask you that particular question.
That's a reasonable question, and I would say yes. I don't know if we wanted to do more politics. Yes, we could have done more of his early union work. If there was one area that I would say, yes, we could have done more on Sir Eric, would have been on the original Sir Eric and his championing of workers' rights and the development of the GMMIWU and how that liberating ethos that he represented as a early days politician and a union leader, and the mobilizing of the poor and the working class to raise standards of living and to take on the establishment then. I would say that area would have been the area we could have done more on with respect to Sir Eric. I don't know that we had to do more on the political or on the independence work. I think that was well set, and his representation nationally is well known. His political representation nationally is well known. The circumstances that led to 79 is well known, 83 is well known, 84 elections and 89, 90 elections, and the rest of it is well known. More of it is available in new publications, and we're going to see some work by the Historic and Legacy Committee. We have a History and Legacy Committee, and that's why my role today is so important to say thanks, because there are a couple of committees with a couple of people on those committees that are still working and will still have work to do. So some more can be done around Sir Eric over the next 10 months. We go all the way to the 6th of February 2025, and on the night of the 6th of February, when we hand it over to February 7, 2025, we would have a period between now and then where we can certainly incorporate more on Sir Eric. And if I was to give any guidance on that incorporation or that addition, it would be around his liberating ethos and his trade unionism.
All right.
Because the politics and the political representation is already well known.
All right, great to hear that. Tell us about some of the other initiatives that are planned in terms of activities, I should say. When will it take place? And of course, it is mentioned that there's going to be an entire year of activities. Tell me in relation to that. Of course, do you have any other idea in terms of activities, I should ask, and where will we take it? What taking place otherwise in terms of the year of activities that are coming up? What are some of the other activities that are coming up? You being part of the
Sorry, GT, you suddenly gone extremely low. You were perfect all along. So I'm struggling to hear you now.
I am not sure what is wrong. I'm not sure. Are you hearing me okay now?
This is a little better.
All right.
I didn't do anything on my end. My volume, everything is up.
All right, but I'm not too sure what that has occurred there. But
okay, try again.
My question again goes up. Do you have any idea of what are the other activities that will be taking place independence-wise? As I said, it's going to be a year of activities.
Fantastic. So let me just bear with me for one quick moment to go to the original purpose for my being here, to say thanks.
All right.
I will get into the parish activity shortly. So I represented the National Democratic Congress on the 50th, and indeed I assisted with the work of the mobilization committee. So we really want to thank the Prime Minister for his leadership. It took a lot, and he juggled a lot, but his ideas and the fluidity, the freshness of his ideas were remarkable to sit in the same space with him, and how he corralled us around the present, the past, and the future. And that is why I want to really say thanks to how he led our work, and we are all better off for it. And of course, the team, including the cabinet secretary and the representatives from the various ministries, the foreign minister, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and the protocol people there, who had to take a lot into consideration. The original team, of course, included the Commissioner of Police. Remarkable guidance from Acting Commissioner Mackenzie, and very sober and thoughtful gentleman. Helped us to navigate a lot of those aspects of security and the foreign military and the range of options that was available, and how some of the security aspects had to be considered on an event-by-event basis. So we really want to thank the RGPF. He had to keep engaged in various aspects of the RGPF in the overall 50th anniversary planning activity. So we really want to thank the Royal Grenada Police Force and its leader there. We really want to say thanks to the schools. As you saw at the 7th Independence activity, we had quite a number of schools engaging in some choreographed work led by a team. Of course, the distinguished Ricardo Keynes Douglas as the artistic director for the 50th. We saw the outcome, a remarkable evening of February 7th. A lot of activities went into, a lot of preparation went into that activity. So we really want to thank the schools, the cooperation of the principals, the cooperation of the teachers. They had a big role to play. You wouldn't see that role on the screen, but it's their role that we want to emphasize our fraternal, eternal thanks to our teachers, principals, and the schools participating to have that 400-strong student group in the choreograph activities there. It was 2 months of hectic work to get them well organized for the final showdown. And then, of course, we want to really thank the Steel Band movement for turning the Carnage as a remarkable event. We want to thank their participation, their cooperation, the ease of engagement with the Steel Band movement. We're really happy for how that turned out. Of course, the various Calypsonians, all the participants at the up concert, the soca.
Seem to have lost you a wee bit there, Mr. Barron. Not sure reasons why, but we're having a bit of a connection issues there. It's more related on your end. I would put them for that.
Engagement with us.
Okay.
Thank them for the engagement with us.
Just one sec, Mr. Barry. For some reason, we lost you there for a minute. I'm not sure what the reason.
I saw it too. I saw the street.
I saw that a bit of a connections problem there. I think all is well on our end. So I hope you're hearing me much better now. But would you continue?
I'm hearing you better now than the initial time, so you're sounding a lot clearer now.
All right, go right ahead, please. Go right ahead with your contribution once again.
Yeah, so I got to the point of thanking the remarkable GT and the Grenadian people home and abroad. We have remarkable talent in our gospel community. For those of us who attended the gospel concert, it might seem a long time ago, but it was a remarkable presentation of great gospel singing, great live music. We do have some fantastic talent in Grenada with respect to vocals and musicianship coming out of that gospel concert. So we want to thank the gospel community for the artists, the performances, put that progress back. And of course, GT, we can't, hopefully, I didn't miss saying thanks to the Almighty for bringing us together in a very cooperative endeavor. And that turned out to be, as I indicated earlier, quite a remarkable set of activities to give us a good start to a year-long celebration. Over to the parish committee. So when the Prime Minister convened the team, and then we eventually started to build out the team. Yeah? So we started building it out, firstly with the opposition. So we had Senator Nolan Cox as the NNP representative on the committee. Thank him for his contribution, thank him for his work and his input. I can say he had some valuable input in the earlier stages, because after the Prime Minister convened that small core, and then we started to build it out, the next representative to come on board was in fact representation from Her Majesty's opposition. And then we had Sir Leslie Ramdani representing the private sector, and we then bill out to the 7 parishes, from Amanda Jack up in Carriacou. So, well, we did not have a parish representative for St. George's, because St. George's was seen as inherently the centerpiece of the 50th and would remain a centerpiece as we go along. You see the lighting of the carnage and so on. So while we move into the parishes, we did not have a parish representative for St. George's per se, because St. George's was deemed the centerpiece of the 50th. So for all the other parishes, we had parish representation, St. John's, Miss Sam, and others there. And each parish had a team, Miss Francis up in St. Patrick, this Jack out in Carriacou. And each parish had a dedicated month and a dedicated day within each month. So to kick off the celebrations actually was Carriacou and Petit Martinique. Their parish month was January. And to be honest with you, GT, I am uncertain how much the public and the country, how much attention they've paid to a quite enjoyable set of presentations of the 50th anniversary in Carriacou. I think it would be really good to have Miss Amanda Jack on. She was the parish rep for Carriacou and Petit Martinique. And I'm not sure that I've seen enough public recognition or admiration or adoration or adulation for what they did in Carriacou. But I'm using all these adjectives to describe a set of activities in Carriacou that the other parishes, that is what you call an open bat. Carriacou opened the batting with an excellent century from the team there with their 50th anniversary activities. They did a remarkable job there too. And we want to say thanks to them and the committee and the honorable representative there and his team, Tevin Andrews, PS, and others, and the members of the parish team for the Carriacou and Petit Martinique effort, which we hail. And I'm sure you're going to hear a little more from Sister Gail, who is our coordinator, manager for the National Organizing Committee, NOC Secretariat on the Carnage. You'll hear a little more from her. But the parish committees and the parish month of celebration, then Carriacou and Petit Martinique did a fantastic job to open back the monthly celebrations. So we've done the national in February. We then moved to St. Patrick's on the 3rd of March. So St. Patrick's month of activities is March, and they're going to have a series of activities to build up to the St. Patrick's Day. You recall, GT and the public would recall, St. Patrick's Day used to be a quite exciting
certainly is, yes, it certainly used
parish
to be
celebration.
Very much so.
And it has faded, and we're using the 50th anniversary as a springboard. So we'll have a couple of events building up to it and culminating in the St. Patrick's Day fiesta, and hopefully that springboard in 2024 will give new life and energy and momentum for the likes of the St. Patrick's Organization for the Development Sport and others to take up the energy and run with it, as Mr. Keller would say, for the foreseeable future.
All right.
So St. Patrick's is coming up in March. The calendar of events will be published, the advertisement, all the things that you saw for Carriacou and for the national will be replicated for every parish.
Oh, great. Great.
In fact, the launch on the 3rd would be a really nice launch of the St. Patrick's 50th anniversary of independence festivities. There on the 3rd, the public will hear more of that and see more of the calendar or the agenda for that day, and then the calendar of activities for March. Moving right along would be State of the West. In April, St. Mark's will have its parish day, and they already have a calendar. They already have their events, their budget, everything is lined up for St. Mark's to have a beautiful event. Of course, you know St. Mark's was part of the 50th anniversary nationally when they did a reenactment of the rise to independence. So St. Mark's already kick off its input into the national. It's a beautiful display. I've seen the video all across YouTube and various platforms, video clips of the VECO and their representation of the rise to independence that was performed already by St. Mark. So they will come up in April with a calendar of activities. We have something beautiful to look forward to. Let me just pause, GT, to say that we have a framework around which the parish activities, the parish month celebrations is galvanized. It's galvanized around a framework that sets out 4 pillars. Pillar 1, a legacy activity item. And that legacy activity or item basically says, what are you presenting from your parish that 10, 20, 30 years from now will be there, will be seen, will represent. This is what we did on the 50th anniversary of Grenada's independence, or Golden Jubilee. And here it is 25 years later. I know, for example, in the case of St. Patrick, there's going to be some tree planting. And of course, there can be no other greater legacy than planting a tree.
All right, all right.
And nurturing it so that 25 years later, it will have that metal insignia that says, on Grenada's Golden Jubilee, XYZ planted this tree.
All right.
But there are going to be other, the historic committee I referred to earlier, will be part of working out 2 or 3 legacy monuments or symbols in St. Patrick that will also be reflective of the 50th anniversary legacy item. So that's 1. 2, a youth-related activity. And again, both in the case of St. Mark and St. Patrick, they're going to be doing school-related activities. St. Mark, for example, had a beautiful event called Battle of the Schools. St. Patrick is going to be having an inter-secondary school debate up there between Montrose SDA and McDonald College. And of course, we will know more when the calendar is unfold in the case of St. Patrick. But Area 2 is a youth initiative. Area 3 is a parish festival or extravaganza or a display of something unique to your parish. Yeah, so item 3 in that framework, in that pillars of the 4 pillars for the parish celebrations, item 3, we're looking at a festival, a display of something uniquely patrician, as in the case of St. Patrick, or something uniquely St. Mark, something uniquely the Virgin Parish. GT, which is the Virgin Parish?
Well, it said St. David's is the Virgin Parish, practically untouched.
Excellent. You're correct.
Well, you tried a smart one on me there, but I think I had it correct.
You're correct. So the Virgin Parish, April, May. The big one, June, is the month for St. John's, and they have carried that month into their 50th month, and they're planning a whole spectacular. Only St. John's could be St. John's. In fact, we now recognize St. John's as a republic. So when you go to St. John's, you're going to the republic, yeah?
All right.
So the Republic of St. John's will have its celebrations in June, and the big one, St. Andrew's, the breadbasket, the big parish.
All right.
July, and they will take us through from July right into St. Patrick's Day, St. Andrew's Labby, the festival, right into the
carnival activities, more or less? Emancipation and carnival activities, yes. Which I understand that.
Yes,
all
right there. So St. Andrew will really carry us through into Carnival 2024. So that's the lineup for the parish days. Having kicked it off with St. Matthew.
All right.
And the final component, the final pillar that we're looking at for the parish celebrations, awards and recognition. So there will be an awards and recognition of persons in the parish, in each of these parishes. And that completes the 4 pillars of parish celebrations. So a youth initiative, a legacy activity, something unique to the parish in a parish festival, and the 4th pillar being awards and recognition. So all of these features will be seen on display in each of our parish celebrations over the next 7 months. And after Carnival, of course, we also have a unique unfolding in June. We are going to see the circulation of the historic $50 note. The historic $50 note. So you'll frame one and then you'll spend the others.
All right.
In fact, if you have 8 or 9 members of your family, frame 8 or 9 $50 notes. Each member of the family of every Grenadian household here and in the diaspora, should have a $50 note framed and laminated for posterity. That's our individual family archiving of this Golden Jubilee, your $50 note. Just pay one, frame it, and have it for all eternity.
All right. I mean, of course, Mr. Barry, listening to you, of course, give some details about some of the other activities that are coming up within the various parishes. It's certainly interesting to see when they do come into fruition, and of course, coming to the final bit of celebrations will take place in, of course, February of 2025. We just have a few more minutes with you, Mr. Barry. I cannot leave you. I cannot let you, of course, leave without getting into some, of course, small talk on politics for a wee bit. How is things in the NDC? Sure. How is things going in the NDC party? How is things in the NDC party going, if I could ask you that? You know, most time we hear the conversation, hey, we hear about government, but we're not hearing about the party. How is things going?
Yes. Well, I'm happy that you brought that to the fore, because parties give countries their government. Other than the 1979 experience, it is the ballot that gave us a political succession. So the National Democratic Congress, we take our party very seriously. As you know, we have been the most tried and tested political organization in the region. No other political party, save and except in Barbados, in recent vintage, have had the challenges in political succession as we did in 1999. In 2013 and in 2018. No other political party can stand and say proudly, we have been challenged, tried, tested, and have not wilted. This National Democratic Congress is a very good example for all Grenadians and all Caribbean people to persevere, to be true to your beliefs, your principles, never waver, because that is what keeps a person whole. Sticking to your principles, never wavering, and believing that you are best for the country. So notwithstanding the 1999, 2013, and 2018 experiences we've triumphed without any unbecoming, unseemly activities. We've stayed true, and we remain true to our Grenadian purpose. We've stayed true and we remain true to our Grenadian purpose. The party is excellent. All our party structures are in place. All our party organs are functioning. We had our General Council in November. The General Council is one of the party organs. It's like a governing body. For you see, like FIFA have the governing body, political organizations governing body is a grouping, and the grouping is called a General Council. And the General Council sets out the rules, and it helps manage the party by having twice yearly General Councils to talk about the work of the party, to bring the party delegates together, and to marshal the troops for party management, party building, party organizing, as the case may be. So we had ours in November. Of course, you know, we had our 36th annual convention in March 6th, a historic convention that I helped to ensure was effective and efficient. Our next convention is coming up. We are likely to have it in June to coincide with our second year in office.
Okay.
With our second year in office. And we're having a special convention on the party constitution. We've done a series of consultations around the country with the party, the broad party leadership. The broad party leadership comprises the elected executives of all the organs. So our constituency branch executive, or youth arm executive, or women's arm executive, or diaspora, our party constitution recognizes overseas support groups with elected executives as an organ of the party. So we had consultations with our diaspora group. We have elected executives in New York, elections coming up there in March. We have elected executive in Canada, elections just gone there in September. We have elected executive in the UK, elections coming up in March. And we have elected executive in Miami an election was just held there for a new executive after the successful Miami Gala. So we consult with all our executives, that's the broad party leadership, together with our polling division captains. So we brought that team together in 6 consultations, and we review the Constitution, and we identify 5 areas of constitutional amendments. Having done that, we are preparing the updated revised draft for broad consultation with a broad party membership. And when we do that, we'll go to a special convention as the Constitution requires. We'll go to a special convention on constitutional amendment, hopefully end of March, early April, and then we go to the National Convention in June. No, it is conventions that give countries their new leaders. It is conventions that give countries their new leaders. And out of that, the country votes in its future cabinet and its future prime minister. So you are right, GT. We need to hear more about parties, and especially party conventions. I know you had my counterpart yesterday, and you were helping to drill down on that party's convention. We learned yesterday that it's more than 2 years overdue. But these are, part of the cut and thrust of the political process. But conventions are at the heart of political succession in a country. Conventions. In fact, I am thinking that in the foreseeable future, when we discuss in social studies in primary schools, party conventions must become a critical part of the curriculum when we discuss in social studies.
All right.
Because it is the convention, GT. It is the convention that elects the future prime minister and the future cabinet. Largely speaking, same and except when the party selects its candidates for contesting the elections. Same and except, because when you select the candidates, the party selects the candidates. But oftentimes the prime minister is the political leader. And in our post-independence history, the party leaders were the prime ministers, became the prime minister. So it is a convention that gives you the political leader, and therefore, by extrapolation, the convention gives you your prime minister.
All right.
The conventions are vital.
All right.
So we are in very good settling. We are in fine settling in the NDC. We are building out our 2024 work program. There's some really important things that are happening. For example, we have a zonal, the country is broken up into 3 zones. So for our national political work, GT, the party breaks up the country into 3 zones. Our East Zone is the 4 constituencies in St. Andrew. Our West Zone is the 4 constituencies on the west, St. Patrick's East, St. Patrick's West, St. Mark, St. John, and Carriacou and Petit Martini. That's our Western Zone. And our Southern Zone comprises the 5 constituencies in St. George and St. David. We have a zonal event this evening, a very crucial zonal event this evening at the Methodist School for party members. It's an indoor party business. But it's a crucial meeting we're having at the zonal level this evening, reviewing some strategic activities, both nationally and at the party level on the East.
All right. Mr. Mario, before we continue, we strap for time a wee bit. Yes. I know you would like to give all that details in this segment. I should have had you for the entire hour, but I only have you for 30 minutes. So I know you want to give
I'll be back.
Certainly we'll be back, because we do have a lot to talk about. I want to ask you one final question before we wrap this morning, because we do have Mrs. Gail Purcell to pop in on us this morning also.
Yes.
How do you rate the performance of the NDC as a party? Just one final question. Be brief on it, please, because we.
Yes. I would rate us in our from 2021 to elections in 2022. I give us a A. That is the party in terms of getting us from 0 to 9 by the distinguished leadership when he became the political leader of the party on October 30th, 2021. Some 8 or 9 months later, becoming the prime minister and the party taking over the government. I rate us as having performed at A grade. And in government, I would give us an A minus. I would give us an A minus. In terms of marking, that would be between 80 and 89 would be an A minus out of 100, based on whatever grading scheme. Because some people, they graded their marking scheme 80 is an A. In other marking schemes, 80 to 89 is an A minus. A is 90 to 94, and 95 and above is an A plus. So I would rate us as an A minus, between 80 and 89 on a grading scale. We have done remarkably well considering where we came from. But some of the achievements, and I really will come back, GT, just to speak about a 20-month achievement record.
I will certainly look happy to have you on the show again, sir.
Yes,
I need you for an entire hour.
20-month achievement record is remarkable. Remarkable record.
All right. Mr. Barry, I want to thank you once again. Thank you so much for coming and sharing information. Of course, we started off, this should only be based on independence, but we always get that. We had to kick a little politics in there. I want to thank you so much. And as you promised, we're going to have you back on the show one of these Wednesdays. Once again, you're going to come back. And
we're going to be speaking pure party and pure party work, because we do have to give the public more about how parties function, how parties raise funds, how parties support the government. And that's why this morning, my role was to thank the government for its performance on the 50th, to thank the Honorable Prime Minister for distinguished leadership in how he has led the NOC from the embryonic group of us to the wider body of 20-something persons. He led with distinction, and the outcome is why you have so many people praising the 50th. When you praise the 50th, you praise the entire country, because I already established that there were many stakeholders, and I came here this morning to thank the range of stakeholders that made this 50th anniversary, and no greater thanks than to thanking the Almighty for his guidance and support for our work in our hearts and in our minds right here in this big ocean state called Pitimati, Carriacou, and Grenada. So thanks again to all the stakeholders. I already thanked. Gail could do a little more thanking, but it was important for the National Democratic Congress to thank the public and to thank the government for its performance, and to continue to be grateful to the public for its participation. And its the public has given a lot of goodwill to us, and we're grateful for that.
All right. Mr. Barry, I want to thank you once again for being on the program this morning, and hope to see you soon.
Indeed, thanks.
Thanks for the opportunity. All right. Let's thank Mr. Larry Barry. He's the General Secretary of the National Democratic Congress, and he promised to be back with us. Folks, we drew for a break. When we come back, we do have us Gail Purcell. She will be with us to chit-chat some more. Stay with us, folks. It's To The Point here on Classic Radio GBN TV.
Planning and Development Authority of Grenada, PDA, is enforcing regulations to curb illegal, disorderly, and unauthorized development in several locations throughout the state of Grenada. The authority is concerned that structures mainly associated with vending are negatively impacting the environment, has undesirable public health and sanitation consequences, present obstructions to vehicle and pedestrian traffic, can become projectiles during adverse weather conditions, and generally affect the aesthetics of the nation. The PDA will work along with stakeholder ministries and institutions to effect the demolition, removal, and disposal of structures which fall in the category of illegal and disorderly development, commencing January 2024. In this regard, persons who vend in or occupy such illegal structures are advised to secure their personal belongings and have the structures removed ahead of the planned PDA demolition operations. These actions of the PDA have become necessary to safeguard and protect public health and the environment, ensure the safety and well-being of all citizens and visitors, discourage any future disorderly construction, and encourage compliance to regulations pertaining to physical development in the state of Grenada. This is a message from the Planning and Development Authority of Grenada.
National Lotteries Authority is a proud sponsor of many cultural activities within the Tri-Island state of Grenada.
My name is Anderson Matterson, also known as Leftist, and I'm a calypsonian and string band music player from Carriacou. I support the games of the National Lottery Authority because culture benefits tremendously. Annually, the NLA supports the Carriacou Pretty Carnival, the Carriacou String Band Music Festival, and all regattas, among other activities. When I play the game of the NLA, I can see where my money goes, and it's an investment into our culture.
Yes, Grenada, when you play the games of the NLA, you enable us to invest in the skills and talents of our people in the areas of sports, culture, and nation building.
Welcome back once again to our listeners and viewers to the segment of To The Point here on Classic Radio and GBN TV. My second set of guests with me this morning. Let me say good morning to Ms. Gail Purcell with us this morning. Chairman of the, of course, I hope I always seem to mix up your position within the Ms. Purcell, good morning. I always seem to mix up your position. Forgive me. Welcome.
Not chairman.
Not chairman.
That's Dr. Wendy Crawford.
All right, forgive me for that. And we also have Ms. Francis with us this morning. Good morning to both of you, and welcome to The Point this morning. Hope all is well with everyone.
Good morning,
Yes.
and thank you so much.
Good morning.
All right.
Morning, GT.
All right. Well, nice to have you back once again, Ms. Purcell. We of course, everyone seems to be talking about, the spectacle of our the independence celebrations on the 7th of February, and most of the events that came before and some that came after. Tell us about that. Of course, I know there's a lot of thanks that you want to throw out, of course, to the public as a whole. Some of the folks who participated in helping to have these events rolled out in the manner that they did. Tell us about it.
Well, I guess the easiest way to start off is with a big, hearty thank you to everybody involved, and particularly the general public. I think the citizens of the country really came out because this was an event for everybody. It was a citizens' event, it was a country's event, it was the nation. And I think their participation really just highlighted our love for our country, our pride, and it really that is if there was anything that we wanted to achieve out of that, the public's general participation and embracing all of the activities of the 50th anniversary of independence was certainly one of the key takeaways and the key accomplishments we were seeking to have. And I'm still a little on the high of the event. It was euphoric. It was everything and more we could have imagined. Still very tired and recovering, but it continues. We did promise a year of activities, and that the activities would also be decentralized. So we had our period of national events, which climaxed on the 7th of February, with an overall showcase that I think everybody was pleased with. Generally speaking, the response has been very, very positive, and we want to keep that momentum going as we roll into the parish activities, where we have Miss Francis, Civil Francis here, who will be sharing on that.
I'm assuming you know that, of course, as you said, the independent, that part of the celebration was really wrapped up, but it's 1 year of activities. Some of the activities now move to the other parishes around. Let's say good morning to Ms. Francis once again. Good morning to you. And, of course, you're representing St. Patrick this morning, of course, the organizing committee up there. Tell us about St. Patrick. What's going to be taking place? We had a little preempt of it from Mr. Barry this morning, but I'm assuming you'll be, of course, pouring out more of the details in terms of what will be taking place in St. Patrick. Go right ahead, please.
All right, good morning, and thank you so much for having me here this morning to share on the continuation of the independence celebration for our parish. Now, when you think of St. Patrick's, you think of Crown City, you think of his history, you think of all the historical development and elements that happen in our country. And so for our celebrations, we are going to be focusing a lot on that to showcase our parish in the best historical way that we can. celebration. So we are going to start off the celebrations with a lunch that is going to invite the spiritual realms and the spiritual embodiness of our parish. So we're going to have a gospel concert to kick up the things, where we're going to have a prayer of consecration for the parish. We're going to have all the different religious communities represented at that event. So that event is carded for the 3rd at the Hermitage Playing Ground. And we are inviting everyone, no matter what religious background you come from, even though you are neutral spiritually, it is an event that is supposed to invoke the unity, spiritual unity in our parish. From that, we go on to the sporting events. We take in the youth aspect of it, where we are also going to be engaging all of the different levels of educational institutions within our parish, the secondary schools, the primary school, down to the preschool. They're going to have an event carded for them. And then we also want to decentralize the events and not have it in Sautez, which is the town that most of the times when you think of St. Patrick's, you think of Sautez. So we're going to have different pocket events. For example, we have an event called the St. Patrick's Can Cook. And you know, there's always this tongue and country war when it comes to oil dung and food and all of that. We are going to be
trying to give me that mouth-watering feeling there already. Anyway.
So you know that you can get the best set of food in St. Patrick, because that is where we excel. One of the places that we excel. And so this is a pocket event where in every village in the parish we are going to be having food cooking, and the villagers, they don't have to travel to one central location to enjoy and indulge and to congregate and to socialize. So that is going to be happening. So if you wish, you can go to Riverside, you can go to Mountrich, you can go to Sautez, wherever it is on that day, to just enjoy the delicacies that will be provided by the people in our parish. We also have an event where we will be celebrating and awarding all of the unsung heroes in our parish. So we are going to be having a cocktail and award ceremony, and that will be later on in the month. We are also particular about our environment. So we have a coastal cleanup where we will start in Artist Bay all the way down to Davie Beach, and that is spearheaded by Specto and Belmont Estate. But we are encouraging everyone to participate in these events, because at the end of the day, it is for our parish, it is for the sustainability of our country, of our future, and all of that. We have a lot more other events, but we cannot forget that the month of March is also celebrated as St. Patrick's, where we have the St. Patrick's Day Fiesta. So March is the month for St. Patrick. Right. And so on the 17th, which is naturally St. Patrick's Day, we are going to be upscaling that event into an extravaganza, Jubilee extravaganza, where we are going to definitely be celebrating the parish from the morning all the way up.
All right. And we seem to have lost connection, of course, with Ms. Francis there just a wee bit.
To the head of our country and celebrate with us as we continue with the festivities for our 50th Independence Jubilee.
Tell me, Ms. Francis, what do you think will be the highlight of events in St. Patrick's coming up for? What will be one of those highlighted events you would like to make some emphasis on?
I will definitely say it is the Jubilee Extravaganza, which is carded for the 17th of March, because on that day you will get to see everything St. Patrick. We will be showcasing the royalty in our parish. As we know, we boast that we are Crown City. This is the parish that has won many crowns in different aspects, whether it's the queens, the kings, the Calypsonians. We have many things in our parish that we wish to showcase. So we are going to be putting our parish on display. And I think that will definitely be the highlight of our festivities.
Thomas, the preparation part of it, I'm assuming lots of preparation is taking place. How is the preparation part of it going?
Well, as with everything else, there will be a lot of challenges, but we are headstrong and we are facing everything that comes to ensure that we are successful, that our parish is showcased the best way that we can. The commitment from my committee, well, because it's not just a civil effort, it is a collaborative effort. We're also working along with SPOD, which is the umbrella organization body. So we have a lot of different stakeholders on board that we're working with. And I also want to pause to take the time to just thank everybody that has been working along with me thus far to ensure that things are up to max and that preparations are on point for our festivities to kick off.
All right. Thank you so much, Ms. Francis, of course. And I'm assuming our listeners and viewers, because I'm seeing from the response from some of our Facebook viewers and listeners, their mind is already thrilled by some of of course, the events that you have mentioned. And I certainly hope it will be, of course, well attended and the events run off as smooth as possible. Back to you, Ms. Purcell. Back to Ms. Purcell once again. We can't stop. And you said you've been so tired from being part of all the events that has led up thus far, to the celebrations, and it ain't over for you yet, as they would say. Some folks, it ain't over till the fat lady sings. But tell me, the committee and all the other events that are coming up, or activities, I should say, tell me how things are going thus far for the other activities that's to come.
Well, as Sibyl would have mentioned, our concentration right now is on St. Patrick. And in the right in the background of that, we kind of doing simultaneously preparation for St. Mark, who will roll off right after St. Patrick. So it continues. It's a lot of work that needs to go into it, and it's about bringing the celebrations to the grassroots levels. Although we had a full to capacity stadium on February 7th, it doesn't mean that everybody in the entire population was able to participate in those events. So this is a way of ensuring that we bring as many activities as possible to the communities, and ensuring that as many people as possible are touched by the Jubilee celebrations throughout this period. So it's an ongoing effort. It's an effort of many, many people in terms of preparations that's required. So, but we're being led in this case, in this month, by Sibyl and her competent team to roll out the activities, and we're providing the support that's required for everything to be a success. We want to continue the momentum that was started, and ensure that the whole Jubilee celebrations are something that we can all be proud of on all levels.
All right. I'm assuming the commendations has been continuously pouring from time, of course, our visit Grenadians who have came back and who our Grenadians who live here. How does the committee feel, knowing that we're able to pull off an event of this nature, of course, being our 50th anniversary? How does the committee feel? How does it feel? I'm assuming it's overwhelming. It's a simple word to say for now, but how does the committee feel?
Yeah, that's a good word. Definitely, it's been overwhelming, the feedback and the response that has been coming in, and it's been pleasing and heartwarming. I think to have touched so many lives in so many ways. When I hear people tell me about, adults say, I just broke down in tears. The entire thing just evoked so much emotion for many people, and that was a common response that I've received, and I think it's something that we should all be proud of. It is definitely a team effort. There's no one individual that can get this done. I always say you may see and hear particular faces and voices, but behind it, it's an army of people who really worked very hard to ensure that the events, and I guess, there were multiple events during this period, but I suppose you're most judged by the pinnacle event being on the 7th. And when I reflect back on the thousands of people that had a hand in making sure that event happened the way it happened, it's really a significant feat. Just thinking about the entertainment pool alone, the 1,000 young people who participated in the various mass movement events, from drum corps to dancing, different variations of our culture who are reflected in there. and from our artists to our creative people to the people who did the decor. I really have to give my hats off to the people who transformed the stadium into something that, really we can behold and really be proud of on that day. The police van, or those who were in the various brigades who took part and practiced for months, and the preparation, the visiting delegates that we had from all over the world who were here. So I think we did ourselves proud, and I think it's something that everybody should take a bow for. And we exemplified what a 50th celebration should be. I just recently read an article in The Loop, and someone shared it with me, and I thought, the emotion that was evoked in that article, the writer felt it. He just depicted all of those feelings that I've just been hearing people express. And it's really heartwarming, I guess, the simplest thing to say, that the activities were able to touch people in that way. And I think for our 50th, it's something that everybody involved should be proud of.
What other highlighted event we look forward to? You mentioned all of the activities parish-wise. I know of the CARICOM roundabout and so forth. That's the coming and so much other highlighted events that will certainly be part of the, of course, our 50th anniversary. What other main event could we look forward to that of a nationalistic view to come?
Well, the events now are going to take a tone of where we're looking at our history and heritage, and more of an educational component of it. And as I think both Larry, who spoke before us, and Sybil would have mentioned, there's a legacy aspect to all of the events that are happening in the parish. So that's going to take center stage and focus, and that is, we will see that in the things like the CARICOM roundabout being fully established as well.
All right, thank you so much. And of course, we get to that stage of the morning when we're going to have to take a wrap. Any closing comments from both of you? Of course, I know Miss Francis is going to be saying, of course, extending that invitation. We're in the month of February. They ain't too far before we get into the month of March. And there was one saying, St. Patrick have it, right? There was a song that a couple of years ago that said. So I know you want to, of course, share some love once again for the folks in St. Patrick to come on out and Grenada as a whole. Let's fill St. Patrick's capacity if it's possible. I know St. Patrick can accommodate more than the stadium, so I know you want to share that. I know you want to share that love and encourage folks to come out to the activities in St. Patrick. So giving you that opportunity once again, Ms. Francis, to extend that invitation to the nation to coming up to St. Patrick.
Most definitely. What we are looking for is the love that filled the stadium and all the national events. We want to see that dispersed into the parish of St. Patrick's for the entire month of March. And not just, I know I'm here to represent St. Patrick, but I'm saying all the different parish events that are coming up. I want us to celebrate and embrace our country parish by parish, but most so I want you to come to St. Patrick to experience what we have in store for you. We have something great in store for you. We want you to open your minds, your hearts, your nationalism, your pride, your patriotism, and we want you to experience that with us. Come to St. Patrick, and I expect you rightfully say St. Patrick's have it. All right. So we look forward to that. We look forward to celebrating with you as we continue our 50th independence celebrations. All
right. Ms. Purcell, any closing comments for you this morning?
Yeah, I would just, echo all of what Sybil just said. The focus has moved from national to parish, and we want people to continue to be engaged, continue to be involved. We do have our merchandise stores available at the Secretariat for those who haven't purchased their 50th anniversary merchandise as yet. We still have some things available, and we're expecting another stock coming in soon. So it's still there. I know a lot of people have been clamoring for stuff, and it's still an opportunity. You purchase something for your friends and family abroad. So just come on out. 50 is a big deal, and we're continuing to celebrate it in that way.
I want to thank you both once again for sharing information this morning, and best wishes, of course, Ms. Francis, for the event in St. Patrick and all the other events coming up. Ms. Purcell, thank you also. Both of you have yourself a great day.
Thank you so much. Have a great day.
All right, thank you so much.
Care.
Hey, folks, that's how we take a wrap for this edition of To The Point here on Classic Radio GBN TV for today, Wednesday, the 21st day of February, folks. Thanks to all who, of course, who viewed and listened. Didn't have an open line segment this morning, but certainly the information shared was fruitful. Have yourself a great day, folks. That's where I say goodbye.